So a question I want to propose to all my Jaguar fans out there, man. Do we have a quarterback issue? And should we be looking at Trevor Lawrence as another Jameis Winston? And just think about that for a minute. Before I go forward, man, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. This your boy Greg, one half of the co-pilots. And the reason why I ask this question, man, because there's always this talk about generational talents that's coming out and everything like that there, and which has been over the last 5 years, it's been a term that has been used very loosely. You get what I'm saying? So now we look at, Trevor Lawrence was considered a generational talent. He's supposed to be in that quarterback, that's supposed to be in the franchise quarterback for, for the Jaguars and everything like that. Them and seems like he's been playing below expectations. And a lot of times all the blame has went elsewhere outside of Trevor Lawrence. A lot of people looked at the coaching, you know what I'm saying, with Doug Peterson and Press Taylor saying that it was bad play calling and whatnot, you know what I'm saying, which we know that um Doug Peterson is a proven coach. He won a Super Bowl with um Philadelphia Eagles. We looked at Press Taylor as well. We looked at the offensive line, which we see that, last year throughout late in the season that the offensive line played much better up under Mac Jones than it did up under Trevor Lawrence. And we see, but I would say the line wasn't as that good last year. But we're seeing this year that our offensive line is a better offensive line. It's a better unit. You know, um, also looked at the gym that we had last year that a lot of people that, most Jaguar fans disapproved of. You know, and we looking at, even with talent, whatever you do is it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Even in the win last week against Carolina, you know, it was an interception that shouldn't have never happened. You know, and we looking at the same thing this week. You have a pass that you throw short. It's like, come on, man, you can't keep overthrowing and underthrowing easy layup passes. Now, granted, it was pressure, but as a quarterback, you're supposed to stand there and you're supposed to make that throw. You get what I'm saying? Now, granted, everything is not Trevor Lawrence's fault. It was drops in the end zone. You had a pass that Brian Thomas Jr. should have caught that would have gave us the first down. Def, and a lot of people are going to say the defense should have held. I thought the defense did play good, but I'll get to that in a minute. But when you look at, man, a lot of things, man, stem from your quarterback play. It was a lot of easy passes that I thought that he should have made. You know, like I said, granted, everything is not his fault, but at the same time, you are the heartbeat of your team. Even it was seemed like it was kind of like discord between him and Liam Cohen when he waved him off. Now we could be looking more into it, don't know, because we didn't hear the whole conversation. But that looked questionable, you know. And so, like I say, man, we look at and the reason why I proposed the question, man, I was asking, put him in the same conversation with quarterbacks like Jameis Winston, because Jameis Winston was also one of those guys that he was like, although many didn't have him as a generational talent, but he was a can't miss product. He was among the consensus, he was the first round pick, like hands down, over Mariota. So when you look at and the problem that Jameis Winston had is that not that he couldn't throw, that he didn't have the mechanics, he had all the tangibles. But he, for some reason, he continued to throw interceptions. And we seen when he had his best years when, the offense was predicated off the run. And now when you look at the Jags and whatnot, you look at us bringing in Liam Cohen, who did a great job with the Bucks, who established the run game. And so, you look at the Jags, and the Jags offense is supposed to be predicated off the run and to set up the play action so Trevor Lawrence can thrive better. But we're still seeing some of the same bad habits from last year coming into this year. Interception that shouldn't happen. Now, sometimes is a player that it can be good defense. Sometimes the interception happen. That's a part of the game. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know, you shouldn't be over and under throwing your players, man, when you have a layup pass there. This is something that you should be able to complete. You know, And I think what yesterday, man, what it was like 3 interceptions, 2 or 3 interceptions. This can't continue to happen. 4 interceptions for the year. You know, this can't continue to happen. And that's why I say, made the comparison with him and Jameis Winston. I see a lot of similarities. They have the mechanics, they have the tangibles, they have everything you look for out of a quarterback. But at the same time, when you constantly getting in your way, it's not a coaching problem. It's not an offensive line problem. It's a problem that you have to look at within yourself and say, yeah, am I the problem? You get what I'm saying? Can I make my reads better? Can I do this better? Can I put the ball, better ball placement? You know, so that's pretty my issue with that, man. You get what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, man, was saying, I was crazy, I was tripping for what I was saying last year, for what I was saying last season. You know, I blamed Trevor Lawrence last year for a lot for the Jags shortcoming. And a lot of people wanting to blame the GM and the coaching. And I mean, I hate to say they're not here this year. We have a new GM, we have a new head coach, we have a new offensive coordinator. We're still seeing a lot of the same problems in year 2. You get what I'm saying? And the next year. So, like I say, when I look at the defensive side of the ball, yeah, they may have given up, too many yards against a second string quarterback. But let's be honest, you're going against Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, arguably one of the best receiving tandems in the league. And let's not forget the addition of Noah Fant this year. You know, and so I look at, man, in spite of that, the defense did come up and made plays or whatnot. You get what I'm saying? The defense had 3 turnovers. The defense got pressure on the quarterback. Things happen. Now, I will say that play with Travis Hunt at the end, that was very quick. That should not have been a pass interference. You know, both of them came, was fight for position over the ball. I don't think nothing Travis Hunter did with his hands that took the receiver off course, away from his route that got in the way of the receiver being able to make a play on the ball. Travis turned his head. He got his head around just in time, and he made a play on the ball. I thought, and that was one of the things that would have sealed the game for us. You get what I'm saying? But, nevertheless, when those things don't happen, you still got to play. You still got to be able to play football. But like I say, the defense was getting turnovers, and the offense got to take better care of the ball. You know what I'm saying? So I see my biggest issue with this is with the skilled players and the quarterback and the receivers. They have to get in sync with each other. You get what I'm saying? Kwame Brown, man, I think he was a good addition this year. I think he's been playing good. He had a drop in the end zone. In spite of that, outside of that, I think he's been playing good. Running the ball, we've been running the ball very well. I think the offensive line has been playing good. Also think the coaches has been doing a great job of getting the ball out of Trevor Lawrence's hands much quicker. You get what I'm saying? His release time has been better. Just to point out some of the things that I see that has improved from last year to this year. So like I say, man, I'm not going to say it's over with for us this season because I've seen a lot of positive. But at the same time, man, we have to take better care of the football. We have to minimize these turnovers, especially when the opposing team is turning over the balls as well. You know what I'm saying? Especially when we have plays that are a layup that we should make. This shouldn't happen. You get what I'm saying? So, man, that's my big issue, man. Man, y'all tell me what y'all think, man. Could I be thinking much into it or what? You get what I'm saying? I think Liam Cohen, I think he's going to be a good coach, man. But at the same time, players has to execute. You know what I'm saying? We got to execute better. So, man, y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment, man. This your boy Greg, one half of the co-pilots, and I'm out.